Ever had one of those thoughts that arrives uninvited? You're washing up, the kids are in bed, and a voice says, "A glass of wine would be nice." It feels like a friend dropping by, only this friend always brings takeaway empties and leaves them in your sink. I call it a pop-up ad. Today I'll show you how to click the little X in the corner. Takes about 3 seconds, costs nothing, and you don't have to install anything. Why cravings happen. When I was drinking, I thought cravings meant I was weak. I thought they were proof that I wanted alcohol. But neuroscience shows us a very different story. Cravings are the natural result of how the brain learns. Every time you drank in the past, your brain made a note. Stress followed by a drink equaled relief. Boredom followed by a drink equaled stimulation. Loneliness followed by a drink equaled connection. Each repetition strengthened the link. Over time, the brain's reward system came to treat alcohol as the default solution. That's why cravings feel so automatic. They are not evidence that you want alcohol now. They are echoes of what you taught your brain before. Think of it this way. Your brain is running an outdated operating system. Years of drinking installed the program. Alcohol equals relief and reward. Even after you stop drinking, the code doesn't uninstall overnight. The reminders pop up because the system is still running old software. That's why a craving can feel urgent and convincing even when your rational mind knows you don't want to drink. It's not the truth, it's just a leftover program. The pop-up ad metaphor. This is where the pop-up metaphor helps. When an ad appears on your computer, you don't panic. You don't assume it's a command you have to obey. You recognize it for what it is, a marketing tactic designed to get your attention. And once you see it that way, you can calmly close it. A craving is the same. It's not a command, it's an ad. It might be targeted based on your past behavior. It might look convincing, but it doesn't hold any real authority. So here's the method I use. When a craving pops up, the first step is naming it. I don't say, "I want a drink." I say, "That's an alcohol ad." This simple shift matters. If I say, "I want a drink," I make it about me, my identity, my desires. If I say, "It's an ad," I put the thought outside of me. It's no longer who I am. It's just something I can choose to engage with or ignore. The second step is framing it. I remind myself why the ad appeared in the first place. It's just an old neural pathway firing, not a genuine need. My brain once linked alcohol with comfort, and the pop-up is that old pathway flashing again. The third step is dismissing it. I literally tell myself, this ad is outdated. I don't need the product anymore. That phrase is my close button. It takes 3 seconds, and 9 times out of 10, the craving loses its urgency immediately. The lifespan of a craving. One of the most helpful things to know is that cravings are short-lived. They feel like they will last forever, but they don't. Studies show that the physiological surge of a craving peaks in about 90 seconds. If you don't act on it, the intensity falls rapidly. In community polls, most people report that their cravings last between 3 and 7 minutes if they don't feed them. That means if you can get through the initial wave, it will almost always fade on its own. Of course, not all cravings feel the same. Sometimes they're like a small banner ad. Other times, they feel like a full-screen takeover. What makes the difference is usually your emotional or physical state. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, the craving feels amplified. So if one of those 4 conditions is flashing red, address it. Eat, rest, connect, or calm down. When those needs are met, the craving often shrinks back down to a manageable size. Marking the victory. Here's another layer. When you close a craving successfully, don't just move on. Mark it with a small reward. I literally smile. It sounds silly, but smiling releases endorphins. It tells your brain this was a win. This was worth repeating. Over time, your brain starts to associate closing the craving with a positive outcome. That makes the habit of dismissing cravings stick faster. Some cravings are more personalized. They come wrapped in memories. You've had a hard day. You deserve this. It's your birthday. Celebrate. That's your brain using first-party data from your own past to sell you the product. When that happens, I adjust the script. I say I deserve peace. I deserve rest. I deserve a clear tomorrow morning. Your product cancels all of that. It reframes the ad and strips it of its appeal. What I want you to take away from all this is that cravings are not evidence of weakness. They're not proof you want to drink. They're pop-up ads created by old learning pathways in your brain. They feel urgent, but they can be closed in seconds. Name it, frame it, dismiss it. Most cravings peak and fade within a few minutes if you don't feed them. And if you mark each victory with a small reward, you train your brain to repeat the win. The more times you close the pop-up, the weaker it becomes. The old software loses relevance, and the new one takes over. That's how cravings lose their power, not by fighting them for hours, but by recognizing them for what they are and clicking the X before they take over your screen.